Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, today I want to talk about something powerful, something divine, something that reaches beyond the ordinary and into the very heart of God's calling. The message is this: chosen one, expect the unexpected. Get ready. You see, when God calls you, He doesn't call you to the predictable. He doesn't call you to the safe. He doesn't call you to a path already laid out by man. No, He calls you to the unexpected because you are chosen. And when you are chosen, you can expect interruptions. You can expect divine appointments. You can expect miracles breaking in when you least expect them. So today, I'm here to remind you, you are not here by accident. You are not walking this journey by chance. You are chosen. And because you are chosen, you must get ready. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. If this message has spoken to your spirit, if it has stirred something inside you, then don't just keep it to yourself. Stay connected with this journey of faith and fire. Follow the channel so you never miss a word of encouragement. Subscribe today, because every step you take toward the light makes you stronger. Drop a 99 in the comments as a sign that you are ready, chosen, and prepared for the unexpected breakthroughs ahead. And don't forget to like this video, not just as a click, but as a declaration that you are standing with courage, with faith, and with the power of God's calling over your life. When we speak of being chosen, it is not a term that carries the casual weight that the world often gives it. To be chosen is to be set apart, to be selected by a purpose far greater than what the eye can see, far beyond the plans that man can craft. The truth is, you are here not by accident. Every step that brought you to this very moment, the victories, the challenges, the moments of doubt, the sleepless nights, and the prayers whispered in secret, was all orchestrated by a hand that knows you intimately, a hand that knows your potential before you even recognize it yourself. You are chosen, not because of your strength, not because of your brilliance, and certainly not because of your perfection, but because the Creator of the universe has placed a divine purpose on your life that only you can fulfill. Being chosen means that your life has a direction, a calling, a reason that is divinely ordained. It means that the moments when you feel overlooked, when doors seem to close, when the world seems to pass you by, are actually preparing you for the moment of your destiny. There is a design in your journey, a plan that is being written even when you cannot see it. The challenges you face, the people who enter your life, the experiences that shape you, they are all instruments in the symphony of God's plan. You are not random. You are not a coincidence. You are the product of intentionality of a Creator who sees the end from the beginning and who knows exactly the role you are to play in the unfolding of His greater purpose. Consider the stories of those who came before you. The biblical figures we admire: Moses, Joseph, Esther, David. They were all chosen. And yet their paths were far from easy. They faced moments of fear, rejection, and uncertainty. But the truth that sustained them, the truth that transformed their lives, was the understanding that being chosen carries with it a weight of purpose, a promise that you are equipped for the journey, even when the journey seems impossible. You too are called in the same way. Your name was written before the foundation of the world. Your life is a vessel for something far greater than mere existence. Being chosen is a declaration that you are not ordinary. You are not meant to simply drift through life without meaning or impact. The gifts, talents, and passions that burn within you are not mistakes. They are markers, indicators that you were created for specific tasks, specific moments, and specific victories. To embrace that calling is to recognize that every encounter, every setback, and every breakthrough is part of a divine choreography designed to bring you into alignment with the purpose for which you were made. The moment you realize that you are chosen, a shift occurs within. You begin to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones, challenges not as punishments, but as training grounds, and waiting periods not as delays, but as preparation. The recognition of being chosen instills courage, resilience, and unwavering faith. It ignites a fire within that says, I am here for a reason. I am called for a purpose. I will not settle for less than what I am meant to fulfill. Life is full of plans, schedules, and expectations. We map out our days, our careers, our relationships, and even our dreams, believing that we have control over what comes next. But the reality of being chosen is that God operates beyond our comprehension, beyond our calendars, and beyond the limits of our imagination. To expect the unexpected is to open your heart and mind to the truth that the divine does not work according to human logic. The creator of heaven and earth is not confined by what seems reasonable or predictable. When God is at work in your life, He will move in ways that catch you off guard, in ways that challenge your understanding, and in ways that reveal His power and purpose in the most extraordinary manner. Expecting the unexpected requires a mindset of faith. It requires a willingness to step into situations without having every answer, without seeing the full picture, and without knowing how the pieces will fall into place. It is the understanding that God's timing is perfect, even when it seems delayed. The delays, detours, and disruptions in your life are often the very mechanisms through which God prepares you for the miraculous. What may seem like a setback is often a setup. What appears as chaos is often divine orchestration. When you expect the unexpected, you are not caught off guard by life's twists and turns. Instead, you recognize them as part of a higher plan, a plan that aligns with the purpose for which you were chosen. Consider the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused, and imprisoned for years. By human standards, nothing about his life made sense, and nothing about his circumstances suggested a future of prominent victory. Yet, God was moving behind the scenes. Joseph's hardships were not the end. They were preparation for the fulfillment of God's plan. When the unexpected came, when Pharaoh called him to interpret dreams and govern a nation, Joseph was ready. He had grown, he had learned, and he had been shaped for the moment he could not have imagined. Expecting the unexpected also means embracing flexibility and surrender. It means being willing to let go of your limited understanding and trust that God's wisdom far surpasses your own. It is the faith to walk into the unknown with courage, knowing that every step is guided and protected. Life may not unfold as you envisioned, but when you are aligned with God's purpose, even detours lead to divine appointments. Miracles often arrive in forms we never anticipate. Blessings come from directions we never planned. Opportunities appear when we least expect them, and doors open that no human could have unlocked. When you begin to live with the expectation of the unexpected, your perspective changes. Challenges no longer intimidate you, uncertainty no longer paralyzes you, and fear loses its grip. You become attuned to the subtle workings of God, recognizing that even in the midst of difficulty, there is a plan, a purpose, and a path forward. The unexpected is no longer something to resist or fear. It is a confirmation that God is actively at work, shaping your life, directing your steps, and fulfilling the destiny for which you were chosen. Breakthroughs do not arrive by chance. They are not the product of luck or mere coincidence. Every divine breakthrough is preceded by a season of preparation, a time when God is shaping, refining, and equipping you to receive the fullness of what He has promised. Preparation is the hidden work, the quiet labor, the unseen moments that build the strength, wisdom, and resilience necessary for the manifestation of God's promises. It is in preparation that your character is strengthened, your faith is tested, and your resolve is solidified. Without preparation, even the most significant opportunity can be wasted, but with preparation, even the smallest step can lead to monumental change. Preparation requires patience and discipline. It calls for a heart willing to endure, a spirit ready to persevere, and a mind committed to growth. Many times, we become frustrated when answers or blessings do not arrive on our schedule. We wonder why doors remain closed or why prayers seem delayed. Yet these periods of waiting are precisely the moments in which God is preparing you for your breakthrough. Every challenge, every trial, every obstacle is designed to teach you something you cannot learn elsewhere. They are shaping you into someone capable of handling the responsibility and opportunity that comes with the fulfillment of God's promises. Preparation is not passive, it is active, it is intentional, it is purposeful. Consider the story of David before he became king. Before he sat on the throne of Israel, he was a shepherd tending sheep in the fields, facing lions and bears, enduring ridicule and rejection from his own family, and fleeing for his life from King Saul. These experiences were not random hardships, they were preparation. They developed courage, leadership, faith, and reliance on God. By the time David was called to reign, he was ready. The breakthrough, the crown, the kingdom, the destiny was only effective because he had been prepared to receive it. Preparation also involves spiritual readiness. God's breakthroughs are not merely about timing, they are about alignment. Your heart, your intentions, and your actions must align with His purpose. This is why prayer, study, reflection, and obedience are critical in the process of preparation. They attune you to God's voice, refine your desires, and cultivate a mindset of trust and expectancy. The breakthrough you seek will be a reflection of the preparation you have embraced. It is in the preparation that God tests your commitment, reveals your potential, and builds the foundation upon which the breakthrough will stand. Preparation is often invisible and unrecognized by the world, but it is deeply visible to God. The small choices you make daily, the disciplines you practice in secrecy, the patience you exercise in trials, they all contribute to the readiness required for God to act. The person who is prepared will not be surprised when the doors swing open, the provision appears, or the opportunity presents itself. Instead, they will step forward with confidence, knowing that God has made them ready, that every step of preparation has been intentional, and that the breakthrough is not random, but divinely ordained. Life is full of interruptions, plans are delayed, opportunities seem to vanish, and unexpected circumstances appear that disrupt what we believe should happen. But faith transforms the way we see these moments. What appears as an interruption to the world may, in fact, be a divine appointment orchestrated by God. Faith is the lens through which we recognize that nothing happens outside of God's sovereign plan, that every disruption carries a purpose, and that every detour is a setup for something greater than we could have imagined. To live in faith is to see beyond the surface, to look past the inconvenience, and to perceive the hidden hand of God moving through every twist and turn in our lives. Faith requires a mindset of trust and expectation. It means believing that even when things do not go according to your plan, they are going according to God's plan. It is easy to become frustrated, to question, or to lose hope when life takes an unexpected turn. But faith whispers that these moments are not meaningless, that they are not random, and that they are not failures. Instead, they are divine opportunities designed to align you with your purpose, to teach you lessons you cannot learn any other way, and to position you for encounters that will change the course of your destiny. Interruptions, when viewed through the lens of faith, become gateways to miracles, encounters, and revelations that were otherwise unimaginable. Consider the example of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Her life was interrupted by an angel with a message that changed everything. A simple, ordinary life was suddenly redirected by divine intervention. To the human eye, it may have seemed inconvenient, frightening, or overwhelming, but her faith transformed that interruption into a divine appointment. Her obedience, her trust, and her willingness to step into the unexpected allowed God's plan to unfold, and the world was forever changed. Every interruption carries the potential to be a similar divine moment in your own life. Faith also requires patience and perspective. Often, interruptions feel like delays, obstacles, or even setbacks. But with faith, you understand that timing is not always in your hands, that God's timing is perfect, and that delays are often periods of preparation. Faith helps you recognize that the people, events, and circumstances you encounter during these interruptions are strategically placed for your growth, blessing, or assignment. Every missed train, every canceled meeting, every closed door may be redirecting you toward the exact place you are meant to be. To walk in faith is to refuse to let frustration or fear dictate your response to life's interruptions. It is to see the invisible hand of God at work in ways that may not yet be obvious. Faith allows you to trust that the detour is not a deviation, that the delay is not denial, and that every disruption carries a divine purpose. When you embrace faith in this way, you no longer view interruptions as obstacles to your destiny, but as invitations to step into God's plan, as opportunities for encounters that can transform your life, and as moments that reveal the miraculous in the midst of the ordinary. Obedience is one of the most powerful keys to experiencing the miraculous in your life. It is not simply about following rules or performing rituals. It is about aligning your will with God's will and stepping into the purpose He has designed for you. Miracles are often promised, prophesied, and revealed, but they remain dormant until obedience activates them. To obey God is to trust that His instructions, His timing, and His plans are perfect, even when they challenge your understanding, stretch your faith, or demand sacrifices you never anticipated. Obedience is the bridge between promise and fulfillment, between vision and reality, and between prayer and breakthrough. Many times the miracles we long for are delayed not because God is unwilling to act, but because He is waiting for our response. Our hesitations, doubts, and fears can stall the fulfillment of what has already been decreed for our lives. When we step out in obedience, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain, we open the door for God to move in ways that surpass human imagination. History and Scripture are filled with examples of individuals whose obedience unlocked extraordinary miracles. Noah obeyed the command to build an ark despite ridicule and disbelief, and the flood spared him and his family. Abraham obeyed when called to leave his homeland, and his descendants became a great nation. Their miracles were not simply the result of faith alone, they were the result of faithful obedience that honored God's direction. Obedience often requires courage. It demands that we act even when circumstances seem contrary, that we follow even when the path is unclear, and that we trust even when results are invisible. The miraculous frequently arrives in forms we do not expect. It is not always immediate, and it is not always obvious. But obedience ensures that when the moment comes, we are positioned to receive, to recognize, and to participate in the unfolding of God's wonder. Without obedience, even the most profound promises can remain out of reach. With obedience, even the smallest act can set in motion events that change the trajectory of your life and impact the lives of others. Obedience is also an expression of humility and surrender. It acknowledges that God's wisdom surpasses human understanding, that His plans are higher than our plans, and that His timing is perfect. To obey is to step aside from our desire to control outcomes and to allow God's power to manifest. It requires listening, discerning, and responding without hesitation. The more we practice obedience, the more attuned we become to God's voice, the more aligned we become with His purpose, and the more open we become to the miracles He longs to perform. Miracles are often hidden in plain sight, waiting for a key, our obedience, to release them. They may come in forms we did not anticipate: a provision when we thought there was none, a healing when all seemed lost, an opportunity that appears out of nowhere. Obedience creates the conditions for these miracles to manifest. It is the catalyst, the spark, and the act of faith that transforms potential into reality. Every time we choose to obey God's instructions, no matter how small or inconvenient, we are stepping into a flow of divine favor that sets the stage for blessings beyond comprehension. Too often, we wait for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, or the ideal conditions to step into the life God has called us to. We say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll begin when things are easier," forgetting that the divine timetable does not operate on our schedule. The time to act, the time to embrace your calling, the time to step into your destiny is not in the distant future. It is now. God's purposes are unfolding in the present, and the moment of preparation, the moment of awakening, and the moment of opportunity is already upon you. To wait for someday is to risk missing the divine appointments that are ready to manifest in your life at this very moment. Getting ready requires awareness. It demands that you recognize that every season of life, every challenge, every encounter, and every opportunity is leading you toward the next step in your purpose. Life will always have distractions, delays, and uncertainties, but these are not reasons to postpone action. They are reasons to be vigilant, to remain spiritually alert, and to prepare your heart and mind for what is coming. Readiness is cultivated through prayer, discipline, and focus. It is strengthened through obedience, faith, and perseverance. When you understand that the time is now, you approach life with a sense of urgency and intentionality that positions you to seize the blessings, breakthroughs, and miracles God has orchestrated for you. Consider the story of Esther, who was placed in a position of influence at a moment of crisis. The fate of her people rested in her hands, and yet the opportunity required courage and immediate action. There was no time to wait, no time to hesitate, and no time to defer her purpose. The time was now, and because she acted decisively and faithfully, she became the instrument of divine deliverance. Likewise, in your own life, the moments that appear as ordinary today may hold extraordinary significance tomorrow if you are ready to respond. God does not delay. He moves in the present. The door that is open today may not remain open tomorrow. The opportunity to step into your calling, to fulfill your purpose, and to experience the fullness of your destiny is available now, in this season, in this moment. Getting ready also requires courage to let go of fear, doubt, and hesitation. Many times, the biggest obstacle to stepping into God's plan is not external, it is internal. It is the voice that says, "I'm not ready. I can't do it." Or, "I'll try later." These thoughts are the enemy's attempts to delay your breakthrough and divert you from your calling. The moment you choose faith over fear, action over procrastination, and readiness over delay, you align yourself with the divine timing of God. Readiness is not about perfection, it is about willingness. It is about showing up, taking the first step, and trusting that God will equip you for every challenge and empower you for every task. To get ready is to embrace the now with boldness, confidence, and expectancy. It is to live with a sense of urgency that honors God's timing and demonstrates faith in His plan. The call to readiness is a call to action, a call to courage, and a call to alignment with the purposes for which you were chosen. When you step forward in readiness, you position yourself to receive the blessings, the breakthroughs, and the opportunities that God has prepared for your life.